What is up, guys? DT Ninja here to guys my RuroKen Hokkaido Arc Chapter 55 review. Alright guys, we're going to get right into the chapter. We're going to go right into the pages of SQ and go to the chapter. We have Cho of the Juppungatara and Kamatari facing off against Gongo of the Kinkaku Heki. He's getting serious, as we saw in the last chapter. At the end, he throws off his, cloak of Kinkaku Heki, and he reveals a stab-proof vest. And what this kind of reveals is that he's been using this to block bullets, to be safe from, all kinds of attacks, stabs from swords, and he's got them on his wrists as well as his chest, and he's even got, you can see these pouches which probably have some ammo or weapons themselves. I'm not exactly sure. It kind of gives me Cable vibes from Marvel, so that is really cool. I love this kind of design for Gongu. Now, we obviously know he has this kind of gauntlet, kind of gloved hand. So, we obviously know he's very strong, but to see that he's been using a vest, that's pretty cool. I like that. He does mention one thing I noticed. He goes on to say, Yomo ya hi Kyoto wa iwa nayo na. So what he actually says here is that don't call me a coward. He says, don't call me a coward. Remember, Kamatari made a remark in the past chapter, and she called him a coward. This could be nothing, but honestly, I think this is very important because he also says it at the very end of the chapter. And he also says, and also the next page kind of eggs on this idea that he's a coward. So he mentions it, don't call me a coward. It could reveal that that's his actual self. Like, that's his revealing who he actually is. So Kamatari says this, the same exact thing. Hikyo nante Io nayo. Don't call me a coward. So basically, don't call you a coward. So, and he's obviously taking pleasure in calling him a coward. So obviously there's something there. I feel that is definitely important. Like I said, maybe it goes more to what Gongu's real personality is. Cowardly and also kind of faking who he actually is. And we're gonna learn that Amachi, and Cho says we gotta take out Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy is Amachi, obviously, and this kind of doesn't sit well with Gongu. And Cho is sitting there and he's like, oh, I touched a nerve, did I? And then we see this whole black and white scene with the Gordiokaku fortress, and you can see all the smoke from where the battles are taking place. Then the next page, they're basically talking to each other. You have a little flashback of Amachi, and even where Gongu is giving the alcohol to Cho to kind of just chill out for a little bit. So Kamatari and Cho kind of come to the conclusion that his Jinsukaku, his special ability, divine awareness, is actually unstable. And so he ran out of energy, according to Kamatari and Cho, and that's why he's eating those candy bars. And that's also why they were stalling when they were fighting. So yeah, they kind of come to that conclusion. Then you get this stare off between them. Now there is some talking, but there's a lot of action in this chapter. And of course, Gongu wants to fight, so he's like, come on. And then this is where he's like, yeah, we're coming. And Cho puts his hand on his face just like he did in the Kyoto arc. And he's like, I torture children too. That was pretty great to see again. And then Amachi is there. And of course, Cho goes right after Amachi. And then Kamatari rushes after the blade of Gongu, and so it's kind of like a race to get to the blade so that Cho can get to the kid. Kamatari has a nice, strategy here, using the scythe blade as kind of a launching pad, and he actually kicks it, and then uses it and spins the chain around his wrist and basically makes him so he can't move. And then he detaches the first part off into a makeshift, you can see it right here, a spear. And he's like, I'm going to bloody you like a pig. And of course, that's exactly what he does. This is an awesome scene from this chapter where he just goes to town on him, smashing his face left and right. Of course, with those glasses, he sees Amachi being captured. He gets out, as so Kamatari thinks he has him. You can't get away from me, but that's when he pushes on his blade. And when he pushes down on it, it opens up into a compartment with all these balls. They're like magnetic balls. And then they suddenly spread out and they release, and they're like the cannonballs. They're like cannonballs flying out everywhere. And suddenly they just disintegrate everything. And that is just a really devastating attack. And obviously it just looks like Kamatari's completely done for. Cho yells out to him, but there's no response. So that was pretty crazy, honestly. Then you got Gongu yelling out to Amachi as Cho basically has him for, kind of leverage. He's like, throw your sword down. And then he tells the kid, listen, kid, I don't want to hurt you. Just do what I say. And then the kid starts talking, and he's like, what the hell's going on? And then Gongu pulls out his sword, and it turns out to be a makeshift gun. So the gun is turned into a gun, and then Cho is like, what in the hell? And then it fires. And then again, right at the end, he says, I'm a villain. Don't call me a coward. So again, the way that he goes about saying he's not a coward makes me think that he's hiding his true self, which later we will find that out. But just based on the chapter that I'm looking at, the images and all that's being shown, I feel like the don't call me coward, the cowardly kind of comment is getting to him. It's actually part of his personality. So, and the makeshift gun was crazy. But not only that, the gun is one thing, but Kamatari really impressed me. The way that he made, he took out his scythe and made that makeshift spear. That was just awesome. I love that scene. Really cool. All around, it was great action. Not a lot of things happened. I mean, yes, Cho did capture the Kinkaku Heki Amachi, and Gongu did get out of everything after being attacked and everything. But the main thing that happened is Gongu has a serious firepower, and he obviously has the armor as well. He's also hiding a bunch of stuff. That's the main thing that we know. And at the end, you can see the fear in Cho's eyes. What did he fire on? Is he firing at Cho, or is he actually firing at something else? So what I'm going to do now, that's the end of the chapter. There's not a whole lot to discuss in this chapter, but like I said, it was really cool, really great action sequences. They did talk a little bit. We learn a little bit why Amachi had to eat the candy or whatever to replenish his energy. But the main thing is that sword that basically turns into a gun. That's just crazy. And I love the cable vibe, the cable design of Gongu. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share the first page of the next chapter. I almost never do this. But it's the same thing, right? He's shooting out the gun. But I want you to take a look at who he actually shoots. The kid actually told him where to shoot, but look where he shot. He shot the kid, man. That's just nuts. He shot the kid, not Cho. So, yeah, that was really shocking to me. If that were me, I would have put that at the very end, not this. But this was also a shock because this is the first page. But you knew he was going to shoot someone. So anyways, before we go, though, we do have a message from the author. He has revealed the Hokkaido arc will be resuming in the spring of 2025. So we will get it next year. So anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.